right? So how innovation can help reduce these kind of I would say problems. Basically, that is something a sustainable development goal is. uh, Next is 12th one, responsible consumption and protection of nature as well. How, the way the nature is getting killed. Basically, there are so many things that we see day in day out. Can IP, can innovation be a solution for this? Absolutely yes. Innovation, simple innovations can be solution for these kind of damages as well. 13 is a climate action. Next is life below water. What kind of inventions or we can have to save them? Basically, life on land, in the forests, peace, justice, and strong institutions. And finally, the 17th sustainable development goal that is provided by United Nations is partnerships for the goals. This is exactly what I believe IIC or the institute is doing through conducting these workshops or these kind of activities basically. So these are 17 development goals, sustainable development goals provided by United Nations. This year WIPO is saying that use intellectual property, IP, for the benefit of achieving these goals. Achieve these goals through the innovation basically, and how it can be done as such. See, innovation is not something which is, I would say, a really radical change that you actually require. Innovation in general terms can be as simple as the what we call as an incremental innovation basically, which can be minor changes in the products or the processes that we have as such. A simple example from chemistry lab is if we are using the toxic chemicals which are actually harmful for the nature. Instead of that, if we are using any chemical or any product which is environment friendly, that itself is kind of an innovation, as well as achieving this one of the sustainable goals as such. Now, where is the role of IP comes in innovation? And that's where my session is all about. Where is the role of IP in the innovation? Now, we have been maybe as a faculty, some of you are aware of the concept of intellectual property rights. As master students, probably you would have learned it somewhere or studied it somewhere. It may be part of your syllabus, or for undergrad students or some of you it may be a new concept as well. But IPR, intellectual property rights, as far as the pharmaceutical industry is concerned, is something which is significant for two reasons, I would say. The very first reason definitely is, we know that the pharma, जब से हम फर्स्ट ईयर बी फार्म में आते हैं या डिप्लोमा में आते हैं, that point of time we have been told of one thing: pharma is a research based industry. Pharmaceuticals is a research based industry, yes, right? Now, when we think of this research or innovation, IP is part of it as such. And this is the first thing. The research based industries are directly connected to something called as patents as well. So the significance of IP for research is something which you have to understand. And second most important uh, perspective for, especially for the student, is a career opportunity as such in terms of IP careers, intellectual property rights careers as a patent agent, careers as a patent professional, both as a individual working within the organization, within the corporates, as well as the outside opportunities available in the market, which are maybe as a freelancer, maybe as an entrepreneur, maybe with the law firms, maybe with the knowledge process outsourcing companies, maybe with lot of other industries, FMCG hai, Ayurveda hai, agrochemicals hai. There are a lot of opportunities for the students basically. As and I'll tell you the best part of these opportunities IP career is that generally, post COVID, we have seen that everyone wants a bit of flexibility, hybrid work culture. IP jobs are desk jobs, IPR jobs are desk jobs. You can actually work virtually from anywhere as long as you are trained properly, as long as you have that I would say self motivation to work on your own. Basically, I have had one of my ex colleagues or subordinates who worked in a small like गांव से काम करता है, मतलब he just what he needs is a laptop and an internet connection. He has a wonderful farm and वो उसका छोटा सा घर है, entire family is there, farm house type है, and वहीं से वो काम actually it's a small village which just has a population of 2000 people and such. Oh, isn't it amazing actually that you in the like you're working from a place, and honestly he's dealing with the global clientele as well. He's just not working with the local clients, यूएस के यूरोप के clients के साथ काम कर रहा है. That's an achievement, I would say, because when maybe as an undergrad or postgrad, when you leave this academic setup, you look out for opportunities, job opportunities. Therein, instead of seeking a job, if you can do something like this, that's an achievement, basically, right? It's kind of giving back to the society as well, and I think that's where the institute also has a role to play in terms of letting the students know about the opportunities of career opportunities in IPR, basically. Now, uh, saying all this, let me actually come back to the topic that we have is ideas to impact and the role of IP in that, basically. So when we say this, that point of time, I remember kind of a case jahan pe where is like what do we generally mean by IP as such? IP ka matlab kya hai? Why intellectual property rights? How is it connected to our life as such? The first important aspect about intellectual property rights is it is about the rights. It is about the ownership. It is about the legal ownership. Matlab, when I say that I own a phone or I own a car, I own a flat, that means it's a legal ownership for me as such. This in the similar way, we have intellectual property rights, which gives you the ownership for the intellectual activity as such. Yeah. So let me just share my screen. Can you please confirm if you can see my screen?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, just give me a second. Just give me a second. I'm just trying to share my screen. Okay, I think there is some challenge with respect to the. I believe the session is getting recorded. Am I correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, maybe because my MacBook doesn't give the permission for recording of the session through the Chrome. But no worries, I'll send you the slides later, but I'll cover the session right here through the talk basically. So IP is about the legal ownership of the intellectual ideas or creativities that you have. Now, what do you mean by this? If when I say that I have got ownership over a tangible asset, in a similar way, actually I can have actually the ownership over the intellectual ideas as well. What are these ideas? In terms of pharmacy, The ideas may be as simple as in the Sutix lab, what you do, a new dosage form, a new tablet, a capsule, a new method for preparing, I would say, tablet as such, कोई आपने नया ingredient use किया है उसमें, and you're getting some advantage over it, basically over the existing products basically. Now all these things are very important in terms of inventions. Now the same way, when we think of a chemistry lab, what we are doing is maybe a new process, a new drug, a new salt, a new polymorph, or I would say a new derivative. All these things basically can be considered as innovation in terms of, I would say, innovation in terms of the broader aspect of IPR as such. Now, when we think of the third one, the pharmacology lab or the pharmacognosy lab, therein what we are doing basically is we are actually providing like the new indication basically, or new study that is kind of helping us to for a herbal product basically. That is something which is an invention basically. Now IPR gives you the legal rights for this. When I say this, it means it gives you a legal right. It gives you a legal right as such to protect these invention and ownership as such. Now, when we have these, so we call these as creativities. We call these as creativities basically. Okay, as in the first part of IPR, intellectual creativity part, is something which is like in the activities or the research activities that we are actually doing basically. Now these activities help us in terms of doing research or getting generate some kind of business. Now ये creativity है, intellectual activity helps you generate the business. That is intellectual property बन जाता है वो. The creativity is not IP. The creativity and its value, the business value, is when the creativity has a business value, then only it is an intellectual property. Now what do I mean by this? For example, आप अगर कोई एक like you create a or develop a tablet basically, tablet dosage form, when it is useful for the patient, that point of time the creativity becomes a intellectual property. Suvarna ma'am, I have shared you the PPT. Maybe you can share it so that we can proceed accordingly. Yeah. So, and when we think of the legal ownership of this intellectual property, that's where it is called as intellectual property rights. That means every intellectual property cannot be protected, or intellectual activity cannot be called as IP. It has to have some business value. That's when it becomes creativity becomes. For example, simple है, आप अगर कोई अच्छा ड्राइंग एक पेंटर है, वो अगर अच्छा पेंटिंग करता है तो हर किसी के पेंटिंग को वैल्यू नहीं मिलेगा मार्केट. Am I correct? But then अगर किसी को वैल्यू मिलता है तो that means that intellectual creativity becomes a intellectual property as such, right? And IPR works as the tool to provide you the legal rights for these kind of intellectual properties. Suvarna ma'am, have you got the PPT?
Can I share these PPTs?
Yes, ma'am, please. Yeah. So when it is intellectual property, the legal rights provided for those creativity are called intellectual property right. Now look at the way the entire domain of creativities. We
Hmm?
have different kinds of creators basically. Someone is a
Hmm?
painter, someone is a singer,
Hmm?
someone is a designer, someone is a scientist. Now, when we have different types of creativities, there is no blanket protection for all types of creativities. Reason being that every creator is different. A scientist probably needs 7 to 8 years to create a new drug or a new product, but uh, a poet may be in a position to create a new poem in a 1 hour or 2 hours time, right? ये creativity is अलग है, but IP protects all these creativities basically, and that's the reason we have different types of intellectual property rights as such. So IPR as a term is a bundle of rights. It includes patent, trademark, copyright, geographical indication, industrial design, and lot of other things as such. Now, when we think of these, let us try to understand what are the different types of intellectual property rights and how they are relevant to the pharmaceutical industry as such. The uh, uh, very first, I would say, or the most important aspect of intellectual property right is that they create the monopoly for those particular inventions or creativities. That means when we think of uh, अगर मेरे पास IP right है, that means I have a monopoly over it. No one else except me can use it actually, right? No one else except me can use it as such. But then for that purpose, I have to maintain the rights as well. मतलब मेरे पास अगर let us say कोई IP grant होता है, तो उसका मतलब ये है कि we may have to maintain it, pay the renewal fees for that as well, be it a patent, be it a copyright, be it a trademark, be it any kind of IP, basically. Ma'am, you can go to slide number 6. Yeah, slide number 6. I'm done till that. Yeah, next, next, next. Yeah. Yeah, so these are different types of IPs. Maybe we can move on. Let us try to understand different types of IPs. Next slide, ma'am. Yeah. Now, very first type of right, which is important. My slides are more or less same that I use generally at the first session for the introduction to IP. So if any one of you have heard me earlier, there may be some replication of slides as. Now, what is industrial design? Now, industrial design is something which protects the shape and configuration or surface part. मतलब product कैसे दिखता है? I'll give you some wonderful examples from pharma industry. Long back, when I was working with Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, that point of time, we created a unique shape of a tablet, and that was coffee bean shape. Coffee का जो beans होता है ना, now it needed unique toolings as well. मतलब जो उसके लिए punches and dies लगते हैं, those were uniquely created basically. But then the shape of the tablet was like this coffee bean type hota. Now this can be protected. Now what is the advantage? The IP, when you have a specific protection for that creativity, it gives you monopoly. No one else without your permission can use it. That gives you a competitive advantage. Now, all the instruments, all those things which can be, I would say, protected industrial. Now, industrial design is for the shape and configuration. Now, let us think of this particular product which has a unique shape basically, right? Now, ये shape अगर नया है, then you can actually get the industrial design for this. So industrial design is generally applicable to industries like fashion industry के लिए clothes कैसे लगते हैं, ज्वेलरी डिजाइन्स के लिए, इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स के लिए, फार्मास्यूटिकल डोसेज फॉर्म्स, एंड प्रोडक्ट जो दिखते हैं बेस्ड ऑन देयर appearance, what we call is aesthetic looks. Based on that, the industrial designs are applicable. I have some examples. Maybe, ma'am, you can take us through some of the next slides one by one, which would give us an examples about various examples about the industrial design as such. As I said, it protects the shape. Now look at the tire, the cycle, unique shape hai, so it can be protected. Move on, ma'am. Next one. Look at यहाँ पे जो innovation है, creativity है, that is with respect to how the product looks. It is not with respect to the utility, or it is not with respect to how the product is working. Utility नहीं है यहाँ पे, कैसे दिखता है उसमें innovation. And we know, like, many a times based on the looks only we buy the products as. Next slide. Everything from every product, like Huawei Technologies, ये जो product है, this is used in the hardware basically. Like, next product, next slide. LG Electronics, relax. So everything that you see is protected under design. Design आपको 10 साल का protection देता है. All the manufacturing industries are dependent on the kind of, I would say, the crockery industry, like, all the MSMEs, manufacturing industries are dependent on industrial design. Next. So all household products, अगर वो unique है तो उनका protection आपको मिल सकता है through the design. Next. Again, look at these mobility products. Most of the interesting fact is that Tata की कार, Hyundai की कार, Honda की कार, हो सकता है सब में similar spare parts है same company के, but then उनका design अलग होता है because of branding and because of the industrial design protection. Next. Let us come to the next type of IP, which is GI. Now, GI is very interesting and rather geographical indication. People confuse GI with patent. Mahabaleshwar strawberry ko patent mila. That's the wrong term. It is geographical indication basically. GI is a unique thing in terms of its uses, its uniqueness. It need not be novel. Rather, यहाँ पे novelty doesn't give you GI. Rather, GI, geographical indication, means क्या है? कोई ऐसा प्रोडक्ट जिसका उसके क्लाइमेट या सॉइल से, लोकेशन से कनेक्शन हो. मीन्स व्हाट? कोई एक लोकेशन, वहां से कोई चीज फेमस हो, वो चीज जीआई के अंडर प्रोटेक्ट कर सकते हो. आई हैव वंडरफुल एग्जांपल्स इफ यू गो टू द सेकंड स्लाइड एज सच. नेक्स्ट स्लाइड. नाउ, next slide. Now look at this map of Maharashtra. If you look at these different locations, you would understand that many products are famous from various locations, like Nagpur oranges hai, Jalgaon brinjal hai, Nashik grapes hai, Paithani sari hai, Solapuri chadar hai, Sangli turmeric hai, Bengurla cashew hai, Purandar fig hai, yeah, Alfonso mangoes hai from Devgarh and Konkan. Now, what is unique about these products? What is unique about these products is it is something which is which uska quality has to do with the local soil or the climate. Nagpur oranges ka jo taste hai, it is all because of the climatic condition in Nagpur. Now, who gets the IP rights? Who gets the monopolies? The local association, manufacturers, or the farmers, they get the rights for that. That means what? मैं अपने यहाँ पे लातूर में ऑरेंजेस बना के उसको उनको नागपुर ऑरेंजेस करके सेल नहीं कर सकता. Who is going to stop me? The GI, any member of the GI society basically, or the society who has registered the GI can stop it as such. So This is something which is unique. Vegetables, the food products, manufacturing association. Like for example, Kolhapuri chappal hai. There are local skilled workers who have that unique thing with them, which gives them the edge over others for that particular product. Now they get the right, legal right to call their product as Solapuri chadar or Kolhapuri chappal or Puneri pagdi as such. All these are unique GIs, what we call it as geographical indication. Let me tell you, GIs are different from patents. Next slide. Look at the map of India now. We have what lot of variety of GIs pan India. Darjeeling tea hai, Kashmiri pashmina hai, Himachal apple hai, Kinnauri shawl hai. There is a place called Malihabad in UP. वहां पे दशहरी आम बहुत फेमस है. I had this opportunity to visit Kutch in Gujarat. वहाँ का एम्ब्रॉयडरी फेमस है. सूरत का जरी क्राफ्ट फेमस. देन वी हैव डाउन साउथ तंजावर पेंटिंग से लेके कोणार्क का स्टोन कार्विंग. दार्जिलिंग टी हैज गॉट ग्लोबल जीआई. को बीकानेरी भुजिया, राजस्थान की कठपुतली, ब्लू पॉटरी. All these are geographical indications basically. Now, how is it connected to pharma? That's an interesting question. Now, so basically those products which are, we know that a certain soil produces a quality crop or a product basically, like maybe a typical location may have some unique herbs which are available only there. Now those can be actually protected under GI. There was a wonderful example which was used for the drug crofelemer antidiarrheals, which was having actually a GI protected for the tribal community in the country called Peru in the I would say America, Latin America actually. So it can be used very uniquely basically, but then there are legal rights available for the communities. When I say community, it is not based on language, it is not based on the caste or religion, but it is the entire community at that particular location. This is how the GI thing works. What we have seen is a first example, first type of IP, it's design. Second is a GI. Let's move to the next one now, the third type of IP. What is important for you students is that what are the right type of IP for your create ideas. आप जो आप में से कोई स्टार्टअप कर रहा है, किसी का यूट्यूब चैनल है, लेट्स से किसी का इंस्टाग्राम पेज है, यू आर सेलिंग सम प्रोडक्ट्स. दैट पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम, if any one of you is running a YouTube channel, what you can do is you can just check if you have a content from third parties uploaded on your channel, you get a copyright notice as such. Now copyright is pretty interesting. It covers entire life of us. हम लोग जो फोन यूज कर रहे हैं ना, everything that we do under the ये फोन के साथ is actually has something to do with copyright. The software iOS या Android software से लेके आपका द फोटोग्राफ, जो वीडियो आप बना रहे हो, everything is part of copyright. Copyright gives you protection for original work of authorship. कोई नॉवल है, कोई रिसर्च आर्टिकल आप लिख रहे हो, you know what, when you write a research article or review paper, the authorship rights are with you, but the legal rights are with the journal or the publisher. Even it's the same for book. That's the reason the book publishers earn more money than a writer, because copyright, even in movies, if you look at the movies as such, wahan pe all the copyrights are with the producer, the lyricist, the singers, the dialogue writers do not have any rights. लुक एट द वे सिंगर्स का जो शेल्फ लाइफ होता है, कितने सालों तक वो काम कर पाते हैं, बहुत कम है, राइट? कभी कभी 1-2 साल के ही करियर रहता है सिंगर्स का. इट इज ऑल बिकॉज द राइट्स आर नॉट विद देम. जिनके पास लीगल राइट्स है, प्रोड्यूसर्स डिसाइड who is the musician, who is going to write the dialogue, because वो copyright उनके पास है. सिमिलर वे से आप जो पिक्चर्स ले रहे हो, जो वीडियोस क्रिएट कर रहे हो, उनके राइट्स आपके पास है, but it has to be original work of authorship. A simple, it's a bit complex. For example, the uh, institute arranged this particular session. I am presenting, it is getting recorded. Now who owns the copyright for the session? Is it the institute? Is it me? Who owns the copyright? Or who actually kind of I would say, can I say that the rights are mine because I am presenting? Can the institute say that the rights are theirs because they have arranged the session? Let us say one of the students records the entire session and uploads on his or her YouTube channel. Then who has the legal right, basically? Now there need to be clarity. Of course, this is a more for artistic industry. जैसे मैंने बोला, writing है, novel, poem, painting, drawing, sculpture, dramatic work, पूरा Bollywood, पूरा news channel, website, everything is dependent. Okay, I'll tell you copyright का one more example. When you uh, generally download a software, let's say, end में ना आप एक I accept को tick करते हैं. You know what it is? Many times it's a copyright license agreement. Copyright license agreement means you're using it under license. The owner of the copyright is giving you a license basically, and you cannot replicate that without the permission of the owner. This is how the copyright works. Next slide. We have some examples for copyright here. Look at this girl, like, many of you can, the next generation can correlate to Priya Warrior. She earned so huge money just because of this winking pose, right? Now she has a right for that. And what like, a picture or a video or a reel can do basically is with respect to, now this is something which is an artistic work. वो property बन जाता है, you earn a lot of money through it. That's where the rights, the legal rights come into play as such. Next slide, please. Now this is third. So we saw the industrial design, we saw GI, we saw copyright. Next one comes a trademark. Trademark is generally denoted by TM or R. Yeah. Now, if you look at these logos, these are representative of a business. These are representing a business. That means if you see at the logo, you can very easily come to know that this is something which is related to product which is from the Apple, or it may be a MacBook, it may be an iPhone, it may be anything that is Apple Watch actually. So it gives you certain hints about the quality of the product, the pricing of the product. So it is something which is about branding basically. Okay. Or when we say IBM, we connect it to a tech company. The moment you see M anywhere, दूर से भी M दिखा, now does the M give you an idea कि ये हमारे यहाँ पे Mac burger है, Mac टिक्की है, या like, we have these products? No. M is denoting MACD, and you know that you may get these quality products or certain, it is a food chain basically, right? So, or even you don't need to see the M basically. The moment you see the tagline like I'm loving it, it simply means that it is giving you an idea that it is a MACD. Now, a logo is a representation of basically the quality of the product or the nature of the product. Now these logos can be protected under trademark. How is it connected? Basically, look at the biggest examples like Reliance. Now when the businesses from Dhirubhai Ambani were supposed to be transferred to the next generation, it was just not the business, it was the name Reliance. It was the name Reliance which was at stake, because everyone knew कि Reliance नाम से कुछ भी business करो तो it is a value is such that it would have a lot of impact actually. So, and in the business it has a lot of impact basically. So this is how the trademark work. It can be with respect to a name, it can be a tagline, it can be a word mark, it can be a logo, it can be anything. In fact, in Europe, there is a essence mark. Essence mark means what? Just say if you go uh, to a specific place, उसके आसपास आपको कोई essence आता है, like उससे आप connect कर सकते हो कि अरे ये product है, जैसे perfume industry में है, correct? So that's how the trademark works, giving you an insight about the quality and the nature of the product. That's how trademark works. This is the next type of IP. And the last type of IP, we can move to the next slide, is patent rights. Honestly speaking, I can speak for hours and hours over this is something called as a patent right. Basically, patent is more for the technical inventions. जो चीज आप स्टैटिक्स लैब में, केमिस्ट्री लैब में, कोलॉजी लैब में, कोग्निसी लैब में कर रहे हो, all these things are connected to patent rights. That's the reason I said जो research based industries है, pharmaceuticals है, biotech है, chemical है, agrochemicals है, automobile है, IT है, aeronautical engineering है, simple mechanical engineering है, telecom industry है, इन सब में the right kind of IP is patent. टेक्निकल रिसर्च रिलेटेड इन्वेंशंस के लिए आपको पेटेंट्स मिलते हैं. आई कैन गिव यू टू एग्जांपल्स व्हिच यू कैन कोरिलेट टू स्टूडेंट्स. वन इज द मूवी थ्री इडियट्स, जहां पे यू हैड this character Funsuk Wangdo, who had lot of inventions of patents in his name. Now, Funsuk Wangdo is a scientist. He's developing something. He is getting the rights for his inventions, and those rights are called patent rights. Now, government gives you a 20 years license. License as in it's monopoly license, monopoly rights. It doesn't give you the right to commercialize. It gives you the right to exclude everyone else except you. मतलब फुनसुक वांगडू के पास जब invention है, तो anyone cannot use his invention without his permission. That's the reason Chatur Ramlingam comes to meet him. Chatur Ramlingam wants to commercialize. This is one example. तुमच्यापैकी बऱ्यापैकी लोकांना मराठी जर कळत असेल तर त्या लाईक देर वॉज दिस वन मूवी कॉल्ड दे धक्का, ज्यामध्ये मकरंद नसपुरेनी एक पार्ट ऑटोमोबाईलचा इन्व्हेंट केलेला असतो. अँड हिज हिज त्याचा मेहुणा त्याला ही लूजेस दॅट पार्ट बेसिकली. At the end of the movie, for a minute, it is shown that Makarand Nasure's friend comes to him and says him, मी तुझ्या नावाचं एक पेटंट केलेलं आहे, त्यामुळे समोरची कंपनी त्याला यूज नाही करू शकणार. यू हॅव द राईट, नो वन कॅन यूज इट एक्सेप्ट युअर परमिशन ॲज सच. Patents are crucial for technology industries. If you are going to enter into the research related jobs in pharmaceuticals, biotech, chemical industries, you day in day out realize that patent right is something which is critical for the development of the products as well as the commercialization of the product. What is happening out actually, ground reality is that people are confusing patent with commercialization. Getting a patent is getting a legal right over something, but getting a patent does not give you any right to commercialize. Getting a patent does not give you any right to launch the product. Launching a pharmaceutical product still would require FDA license or FDA guidance or approval. Basically, you cannot have a product commercialized. In fact, I was in a conference in Delhi yesterday, and there was a very question asked: is why doesn't IP get commercialized? Now look at the product. This is a hand sanitizer. Just because this is IP protected, would you give some extra bucks costly? आप extra पैसे दोगे या इसको आप would you have it, would you buy that product? No, it is not possible. So what happens is basically uh, the value of a product, commercialization value, is different from the IP as such. This we have to try to understand basically, right? Now this is something which is important to understand. IP patents give you monopoly rights, negative rights. It doesn't give you right to commercialize this. Okay? That's how the IP rights work. And for pharmaceutical industry, patents are the most thing. Where are the career opportunities for students basically? You need to understand this, that when you go to a lawyer, he may not understand maybe a derivative, a polymorph, a dry granulation, a weight granulation. Even lawyers, advocates are not allowed to practice patents. Only patent agents are allowed. And patent agents can be people like you and me who are technical graduates, basically. That's where the real career opportunities for you as students are there. Ma'am, we can move to the next slide. So, how typically a patent system works, or how any IP system work? आपके पास आइडिया है, आप उसका IP फाइल करो, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया उसको चेक करेगा, उसको प्रोसिक्यूशन बोलते हैं, एंड आपको IP राइट ग्रांट होगा. बट रिमेंबर दैट द पेटेंट इज ओनली फॉर 20 years. 20 साल के बाद कोई भी यूज कर सकता है. This is how a patent system or IP, any kind of IP system actually works. Next slide, please. And I believe this is the last slide that I have for my session. Any product, one product. Now I have given you this particular product, or even this product that I have, hand sanitizer in my hand, can also have multiple IPs. It can be patent, it can be a trademark, it can be a, I would say, industrial design for the shape, trademark for the name, the patent for the product, GI for any of its ingredients as well. This is possible as well. One product can have multiple IPs as such. It is not एक pharma product में hundreds of patents possible है एक ही pharma product में. एक composition का, एक product का, एक use का, एक maybe a drug to excipient ratio का, manufacturing process of API का. So n number of things are possible. Pharmacokinetic parameters hai, dosing regimen hai. There are so many patents on a single product that are possible as such. So I conclude my session right here. I think I also have a couple of slides before I sign off, and ma'am, if you can take me through those 2 slides as such. We just before I conclude, before I say maybe in the next one, we have starting with this one particular thing, which is a certificate course in pharma IPR, like these 2 slides. if any students are interested, they can get in touch with my colleague Sneha, or maybe any of your faculties as such, if at all you are interested. As well, this is for MPharm students, specifically designed pharma specific here, as well as for the final year and third year VPharm student. Especially if you are a third year VPharm student, post this course, we are providing the students with the option of getting uh, uh, internship for a month or two, which is kind of mandatory after third year as well. So I'm done with my session. Thank you so much once again, all the faculties, the students, the institute honorable principal sir, for inviting me here. I've been at the institute so many times. I've been at the been coordinating with so many people, and as Rajesh sir mentioned in his inaugural talk, we recently had Nisha ma'am's design granted. Actually, it took a really long time, I would say, but then it was done. That is more important. And hopefully, I would have this opportunity to visit your campus very soon. Nisha ma'am, I'll come down with the once the certificate is granted, I'll come down with the certificate to hand it over to you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone. And I am open for the questions if there are any specific questions.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir. I have a question.
Yeah, Rucha, please.
Sir, is this course eligible for final year B.Pharm students?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are giving it to third year, final year, and MPharm, not first or second year. जिनका थर्ड ईयर हो चुका है या फाइनल ईयर हो चुका है या चल रहा है, उनके लिए है ये कोर्स. And like it's a virtual course as such. We are conducting it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir. Does anyone have any other questions?
No one? Please proceed, Rucha.
Thank you, ma'am. I now invite Ms. Rutuja Moye, ma'am, to present a vote of thanks.
Thank you, Rucha. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good morning, one and all. I, Rutuja Mure, Assistant Professor, Siagar College of Pharmacy, feel honored to propose vote of thanks on the behalf of Siagar Technical Education Society, Siagar College of Pharmacy, for today's session. My heart fills with lots of gratitude and respect for our guest speaker, Mr. Vijay Kumar Shivpuje sir, for not only sparing their invaluable time but also enlightening us with his commendable talk on the IP. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation. My sincere thanks to Honorable Founder President Professor M.N. Navle, sir, Founder Secretary Dr. Mrs. Sunanda Navle, ma'am, Vice President Mrs. Rashna Navle Ashtekar, ma'am, Vice President Mr. Rohit Navle, sir, for their continuous motivation. My humble thanks to our Principal Dr. Rajesh Patil, sir, for their continuous encouragement and support. I would like to thank Dr. Sadhna Raut ma'am, Convener IIC, Activity Coordinator Mrs. Suvarna Vakare ma'am, and to our teaching staff who contributed to make this session successful. Thank you one and all.
I
Thank you,
request
everyone.
everyone to switch on the cameras for a group photo.
Good to see a lot of known faces. I can see Kiran sir. Uh, uh, I've been meeting him a lot of times actually.
Thank you, Vijay sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Nice to see you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vijay sir.
Just congratulations for your award, yesterday's award, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Oh, just for your information, I've been awarded with the IP Mentor for the year. Actually, yesterday it was with the at Delhi in presence of the Additional Secretary, Ministry of Commerce and Industries.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you once again for the session. Thank you. We
Yeah, hope to
conclude,
see you soon. Bye. Have a great day.
we conclude the session.
Thank you so much, sir. We will conclude the session.